Hi everybody, my name is Nonz and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. Welcome back to my channel. I know you're probably seeing a ghost, but I promise you it is me. It is me. In this video, we are just going to be talking about our goals and talking about the year, kind of reflecting on the previous year, and then I'm also doing my face as I go. So if you're interested in seeing how I achieved this look, please stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe if you liked this video. Okay, so I thought I would do two kind of videos in one. Simply because I don't like talking and I feel like so I thought if my hands are busy and I'm actually doing a tutorial, it would actually make sense. So yeah, it's been a very long time. I literally just lost the drive for YouTube, but you know what? Once you kind of get into the swing of things, I think, then I'll be okay. So today we are doing my everyday makeup tutorial, but we are also chatting about 2022. Just sort of like a reflection kind of thing, and then also talking about 2023, what some of my hopes and my dreams are for 2023. This is basically my everyday makeup routine. This is my go-to. So yeah, I'll also show you the products that I also use. So it's all affordable. I switched out my kind of high-end foundation because it wasn't working out. So this is all affordable stuff that anybody can just pop into the green store or the blue store to go and get. So I hope you enjoy this. So I quickly just did the bottom of my brows, just started, because that actually takes a while. That actually takes quite a while if I have not cleaned up my brows, which I haven't in a while, and I probably should. But yeah, so you'll see that I'll do the top properly, obviously, like a bit later. So let's get into 2022. 2022 for me was a bit of a roller coaster. Not necessarily, not even a bit, it actually was a roller coaster. Yeah. I ended up becoming like a homebody, like a lot. I am naturally a homebody, but last year I actually I stayed at home, purely because my friends were all going through their own transitions, and I don't have a big circle of friends. I have a big circle of acquaintances and people I know, but I don't have a big circle of friends. So my closest friends were all going through like their own transitions, and then my other close friends are obviously not in Joburg. So I spent quite a lot of time alone, and then also because I'm working from home, I spent a lot of time indoors by myself. And I think the only thing that kind of kept me sane, besides like talking to my friends, talking to my boyfriend, seeing them from time to time, was gym. So I went back to the gym, like consistently went to the gym, and that just became like the thing for me. Like if I'm going through the most at work, or if I'm going through the most, because I went through the most quite a lot, especially in the beginning of the year, like Mengoa and Ogwagwami was just like, all my friends are going through their own things, and yes, they can like chat to me and like kind of we can talk about it. So I'm just color correcting the dark areas of my face. I recently got back into color correcting because I would see that like my face is like quite ashy with my makeup, so I decided to let me go back to it. Work-wise was also quite great. I feel like I'm at a point where I'm very comfortable with what I'm doing in my career. I love the flexibility that my job gives me. My 9 to 5 gives me because it gives me so much more time to kind of focus on content creation, which obviously brings in like a lot more money. But I don't want to kind of like quit and do it like full time, because you know I got bills to pay and I don't feel comfortable. I don't do things like spontaneously. I don't feel comfortable enough to kind of just jump. Who knows, maybe that could be this year, but it's not in my immediate kind of plans. I like the kind of balance between the two. I like knowing that my rent and my food and like all the basics is covered by my job at the end of the month. So even if I have like a cuck month, I know that it's right, because I don't even have to go anywhere because all these things are in the house. What else happened? My friends got engaged, my friends had babies, my friends got married. So it was like a roller coaster of a year, but it was also a good year in terms of like celebrating my friends and celebrating like achievements. I also finished, kind of trust the process, because this looks red, but just trust it. I also finished school. I'm graduating at the end of this year. I still want to go back to school because I realized, you know, like the industry that I'm kind of in now, it needs you to sort of constantly be leveling up if you want the job that you want. Yeah, so also on a spiritual side, that wasn't great. I would lie to you. It wasn't great because I wasn't going to like church physically, and I felt like that my connection with God was like struggling because of that. So I tried out a few churches, but it wasn't sticking and it wasn't making sense. So I ended up attending online, but I want to be in like the atmosphere of church. I want to be in the atmosphere of fellowship. So I think a goal for me this year is to find a church that sticks. You know, I miss my home church, I miss Oasis Church, but unfortunately I can't bring the church to Joburg because it's in Durban. If you're in Durban and you need a church, please go to Oasis Church in Mlazi. They have the best spiritual kind of feeding, or that whatever the term is, but like uzophuma moya wakho ugcwele. I miss that, I really do. So like one of my goals this year is just to kind of connect back to Christ and to actually fellowship in person. Okay, so basically that is a wrap up, 2022 wrap up. Let's get into 2023. I'm so hopeful about 2023. Okay, so you saw that I just did that. Now, so I've got oily skin. And it kind of gets oily very quickly, obviously, when I have makeup on. So this setting spray, if it'll focus on it, thank you. This setting spray is the bomb.com. So I'll literally use it after every single step so that it locks everything in and sets everything into my skin. Okay, so getting into 2023, I'm very hopeful for 2023. For me, 2023 is, if I can just sum it up, is about elevation. So elevating my personal life, elevating my career, elevating everything around me that revolves like around my life, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to kind of look back and say that there was nothing that was elevated about my life. If I don't kind of tick all my boxes or tick all my goals, it's okay. But basically, I really just want to elevate like aspects of my life. One of the top 3 goals is actually like advancing in my career. I like being independent. I like making my own money. I like spending my own money, so I need to make more money. So that means I need to kind of make sure that I'm going back to school so that I can get like the credentials that I need in order for me to advance. And in order for me to advance, my CV needs to look good, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna do my foundation now. I'm using the Black Opal, if it'll focus on it. Black Opal True Color Stick Foundation. I discovered this on accident. And I figured that I actually love it. It is not really for oily people. Do you see like how that actually matches like the rest of my skin? But with the setting spray that I use, it actually controls the oil, and I'm not oily for like the whole kind of day. So I'm literally just going to put that into my skin, or buff that into my skin. And it doesn't really matter if you get too much of the foundation onto your wig or whatever the case may be, because you can clean it up afterwards. But I really just love how it kind of like blends with my skin, or it's almost the perfect shade. But literally I'm just buffing everything in, making sure that everywhere is kind of covered. What I'm gonna do next is just buff with a damp sponge, just so that it becomes a bit more natural looking. Definitely can't skip this step. It's very NB if you use a brush first to go in with a beauty blender afterwards. So I'm just going to do that quickly, and you can already see that it's settling into my skin. There's like this dewy kind of glow, but it's not oily, which I like. Okay, and once you're satisfied, then we can contour. So I'm gonna go in with the LA Girl Pro Concealer. Been using this for years. Love it. This is the shade Warm Honey, and I'm just gonna put that where I need to conceal or brighten up the areas of my face. And then I'm just gonna let that sit on my face so that it can kind of dry up. And then I'm also gonna go in again with this setting spray. Okay, and then while I'm waiting for that to dry, one of my biggest other goals, right, is to be more consistent on social media. Obviously this is where I get the bulk of my income from, so I need to make sure that I'm able to bump the cheese up, and I'm also able to kind of put out content that makes sense, and put out content that's relevant, and put out content that my niche will enjoy. So I don't even know if you enjoy this kind of stuff, but I felt like I needed to sit down and do a sit down at the beginning of the year, kind of just to set the tone. I really just want to kind of elevate my content and be more consistent with my content. I think my content is quite good, if I do say so myself. It's just that I'm not consistent with it. And I think if I was consistent with it, I would see like a major improvement in terms of like my following and kind of engagement, and just building the community that I already have, you know? So this is a self-drag. This is definitely a self-drag because like, inshallah games. But you know what? So this is the year that we actually just commit. So yeah, we're doing that. And also just to kind of expand into like newer kind of platforms. Like, I don't know how the hell TikTok works, but I need to get onto it, you know, because that's where isn't are happening, you know. My YouTube channel has been around since like what, 2019, and I'm not taking it seriously. This is also another self-drag. I know that I'm not taking it seriously, and I can't say that I don't have this and this and this and this and this, or I don't have the time to do it. If you love something and you want to kind of make it work, you will make it work. So I need to kind of fall in love with YouTube again. I think that's what it is. But also, like, I am the type of person who will force themselves to do something until they enjoy it. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm definitely gonna be a bit more harsher, not even a bit more, a lot more harsher on myself in that regard, because I mean, like, I don't have an excuse. I don't, like, there's nothing I can say go YouTube, because I have the editing software, I have the camera, I have this. It's literally just like doing it. Okay, so after I've used my brush, my concealer brush, I'm just gonna go again and use the wet or the damp beauty blender to kind of blend it out even further. And I use the other side. I don't use the side where I was using it for foundation, just to make sure it looks more natural. I don't really do over the top makeup. I really keep it simple. I also just want to improve the quality of my relationships, and I'm not even talking like my romantic relationship. I'm just talking like friendships also. Just making time for my friends, virtually, obviously, because sometimes we can't do in person. Okay, so I've just done concealer, but before I kind of like highlight everything, and not highlight, before I set everything, I just want to do my contour quickly. And to contour, I cream contour first, and I'll be using the Revlon Color Stay Life Proof Stick Foundation, but it's in a darker color. This is in the color Mahogany. And I use that to kind of contour, put more dimension in my face. I used to use like powder. I still do use powder on top because this isn't like super dark, you'll see. But I also don't want it to be like super dark because it's still natural kind of makeup. So I'm literally just gonna blend everything out. The nose as best as we can. Also, my nose contour is not that great. It's like sometimes I get it right and sometimes I don't. We'll see what we get today. Next, we are going to just set where I put that highlighting concealer. So I'm just gonna go on again underneath my eyes, because obviously if it's cream you are going to crease a bit. It'll crease a bit, but that's okay. Go around my mouth, go around the top also of my eyelid, or go around my eyelid. And then I'm just gonna take a setting powder, put that. I still bake. Some people say like baking is not the thing anymore, but you know what, it works for me, so I'm gonna do it. I'll put a bit on top of my eyelid also, just the residue on the sponge, and then on my chin again, my whatever this place is called, and then on my nose. And then while that is baking, I'm gonna set my contouring. I'm gonna set my contouring concealer. That thing with powder. So I still use Eyebrow also, still there. This palette is actually the bomb.com actually. So I'll use the brown to just go over the places where I contoured. Yes, I was speaking about the quality of my relationships, or improving the quality of my relationships. Just making a more conscious kind of effort to stay in touch with my people, and also build my new kind of friendships. I'm not one to kind of open up myself to new friendships, but sometimes life happens. I've met a few like very cool ladies, and I feel like this year I just need to prioritize also just making sure those relationships blossom. Obviously you can't force things. If it's not working out, it's not going to work out. But you have to give those kind of relationships a chance. You do need to give new people a chance, because you never really know where it's going to end up, you know. So I'm very much open into nurturing those relationships, and then also just my romantic relationship, like but you also, like, a relationship needs to be constantly worked at. You also just need to kind of work on yourself, and while you're working on yourself, you're also simultaneously working on the quality of your relationship, because you're also like learning new things about yourself, or you kind of unpacking like different traumas and different responses to different situations. And even though you're working on those things yourself for yourself, you're also like in a way contributing to your romantic relationship, because this is someone who you spend most of your time with, and who kind of knows you on a more personal level. And the more you kind of better yourself as an individual, is the more you're going to kind of show up better, or show up as a better individual in your relationship. So yeah, this year I'm just going to spend more time kind of nurturing the kind of relationships that I have, and also putting energy into my romantic relationship. I'm such a love girl. I really learned that about myself last year. And sometimes I just go over the top. I'm very sensitive as well. I think this year is about kind of trying to find a balance. There's nothing wrong with being sensitive, I don't think. I think it becomes a problem when you let it kind of cloud your judgment, and I let that happen to me one too many times, and I don't want that to happen, because it also compromises the quality of my relationships around me. So I just kind of like getting back to self, and kind of just like healing self and nurturing self, I think is so important in the next step of my journey. Okay, so this was baked long enough, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out, but as I'm taking it out, I'm literally just like sweeping the powder, the excess powder, into that contour also, just to soften it up a little bit so that it doesn't look too harsh. What I'm going to do next is just still contour, or add to it, but add a bit of color also. So when I was reflecting, kind of writing down my goals, reflecting about like what I want and what I like, how the year like kind of went, like I just had that feeling, Uguti, you know what, you've had a really great year, but this year is about to be even bigger. So I received that, and I'm praying that comes to pass. And I know people will say, Uguti, no, you don't like share you don't share those things because like some people are praying for your downfall. Please, do you know God? Do you know my God? I know that I'm on the brink of something, and if God wants it to happen, it will happen. No other person or anything else will stop that from happening. But yeah, I'm very excited. Just to wrap things up, I'm very excited about this year and the possibilities of this year. There's gonna be quite a few firsts that I'm quite excited about. Don't really know what this year has in store for me, but I know that it's going to be a good year. And I know that it's going to work out the way God wants it to work out for me. We may plan, but God has the final say. All we can do is pray that our plans align with his plans for our life. Who knows, I might be in a completely different place at the end of this year, or I might be in the same place. It's not up to me, it's up to God, and that's okay. So I'm definitely putting this journey in his hands, but I know that I just want to elevate the aspects of my life that I've spoken about, and just be wholesome, like wholesome relationships, wholesome life, a happy life that is mine, you know. Also, nobody's gonna kind of build your life for you. You're the only person who's gonna do that, and you have to unfortunately get up off your butt and work for it. And I feel like this year I'm willing to put in extra effort, simply because I know that I want more from myself, or I want more for myself. So what I also like doing is just putting the excess onto my brows. It makes so much of a difference, because it gives me the illusion that I have puffier brows. I don't know if you can see, but that's what I just did, and that one I haven't done. Yeah, so I think this year is going to be a good one. I'm praying it's going to be a good one, but I almost said I hope that I'm consistent enough for you to be on the journey with me, but there's no hoping anymore. We said that we are going to be consistent on this platform, and that's exactly what we were going to do. So there's actually no excuse. But I'm excited to see also like my growth in the next 12 months. I'm not putting pressure on myself to kind of like, if I don't achieve my goals and then it's the end of the world. No. I know that I'm going to achieve my goals, and I actually know that I will, because I'm a go-getter like that. It's going to be a good year. If you feel like that as well, if you feel like me, just pop that down in the comments. So you know that this year is your year. And it sounds very cheesy saying, okay, this year is my year, because I feel like we say that all the time, but it actually sets the tone for your year. If you kind of like believe that that's what's going to happen for you, it actually will happen. Because why? You've set the tone. And even though like hardships and like different things can like set you back, that's okay. Life happens. But as long as you have like people who are going to keep you accountable, people who are going to be in your corner, friends and family, romantic partners, whatever the case may be, as long as you have people who be like, Nonz, you can do this, my girl. You said that you're not a quitter. Are you a quitter? You look like you're quitting right now. Sometimes you also need like tough love. But if you have those sort of people, like who be there to kind of cheer you on and to kind of celebrate you when celebration is due, I don't think you need anything else, hey? Apart from your own like self-motivation, because you also have to want to make life better for yourself. And if you really believe that it will happen, nothing can stop you. So this is my everyday look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I will list all my products in the description box. But it was fairly simple. Like, this is what I do all the time. If I want to add anything extra, I'll literally just add the lashes. But yeah, moral of the story is I'm glad that you sat down and actually listened to what I've got to say. And I hope that you took something from it. As long as you keep positive and you just keep up with the positivity, I don't think anything can kind of deter you. And remember why you start things, and remember why you have to keep going. And if for some reason you can't finish, just know that that's okay. As long as you tried. You fail while trying. I'm glad that you stuck around till the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back with another video next week. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. I want to know how you're feeling in the comments. Please comment down below. If there's anything that you didn't like about this video, please also comment down in the description, no, in the comment section. See, I've been here so long. Oh God. I hope you like the look. Very simple, very clean. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you liked it. I promise you I will be more consistent. But until next time, just know that everything's going to be okay. I'll see you next time.